Make sure I look good. Hi guys, I am officially 32 weeks and probably 4 days pregnant with twins. Because of my age, 36, the fact that I had a baby 2 months before I got pregnant, and the fact that it's twins, I'm in this like high risk pregnancy clinic thing. So they do these really deep ultrasounds maybe every 4 weeks to 6 months, where they check all the organs and all the fluid, and it usually takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I had that 2 days ago and it worked out really well. There's no more placenta previa, and there's adequate fluid, and their growth is really good. The girl's way bigger than the boy. The boy's here and the girl's here, and he's always moving. He's like, I wouldn't say he's always moving, but he's like 10 times more active than she is. So that makes sense why he's a bit smaller, because he's using up. Stop using up all of your calories. Tongue twister. But yeah, so I think because I got pregnant so quickly after, I know I never had a chance to recover, and pregnancy wasn't like very pleasant for me the first time when I was pregnant with my daughter. And it wasn't horrible, but just like gaining so much weight so fast. And I have this thing, it's not like a disorder, but I'm extremely flexible. So being extremely flexible and then having all the added relaxin was just like, my joints were just like, oh my gosh. Like, it literally felt, one day I was walking and it literally felt like my back just like broke and my pelvis split. I'm kind of exaggerating, but it was pretty awful. It feels like having sciatica all the time, and I'm way too young to have sciatica. I'll probably never have it, but I imagine that's what it feels like, having heard other people with sciatica talk about it. So having gone through that, and then I had like an emergency hospitalization a month after the first birth because I had an abscess at the cesarean scar, and then a month later getting pregnant. It's just been rough. I've gained total probably about 80 pounds overall through the 2 pregnancies, the singleton and the twins. And having so much weight, I have really bad tendinitis in both my hands. Like, even going like this hurts. It hurts every time picking up the baby. If I don't move my hands for a long time, especially when I'm sleeping and I'm like trying to get out of bed, it's just like, I can't describe this pain to you. I'm supposed to be wearing braces all the time, but I wash my hands a lot. And my ankle feels like it's permanently twisted. I hate to be complaining so much, but this is honestly what it feels like. I've never been in so much prolonged pain in my life. So my ankle feels like it's permanently twisted. I got a cortisone shot in it probably a week and a half ago, which has made a big difference. Because before it was like, I'm already hobbling because of my hips, and then I'm hobbling because of my ankles too, and it cracks, and it's just been a hot mess. So I'm 32 weeks, almost 33 weeks, and I actually was hospitalized just for a day, probably, what are we in, a week and a half ago, because I was pretty sure, I felt like I was going in labor. It just felt like so much pressure, and like it was just this contraction for 30 minutes literally that would not end. So I was just like, this is bananas. It was 1:30 in the morning, and I'm in this weird position. It's not like I can change it or fix, like I have no control, but I'm in this weird position where it's like, preemie babies or not be in so much pain. I'm like totally willing to go through this amount of pain to have them come to like full twin gestational age. It's totally worth it, but it's painful. And I guess, so the world right now is going through a lot of like crazy nonsense with like COVID and like the elections and Mercury and Venus and Mars and Jupiter and Saturn. Everyone's just going like bananas. And I have my own business, which has been like this throughout this whole like situation. And the amount of physical discomfort I'm in has really forced me to stop. So I'm actually going to be closing down my physical shop, not permanently, for 2 months instead of trying to hire someone, which I've been trying to do, but it's just not been reliable and very and the business right now is just so unpredictable, and I literally do not have the energy. So believe it or not, that's actually progress. Because I'm one of those people that's like, let's just work until our back breaks, or work until I can't move my hands anymore. So I'm actually going to be closing. My plan was to close down immediately after Thanksgiving. And of course I have a website, and that's going to be fully functional. And now I'm just well, I do have one staff, so she's going to be here half the week. Now I'm just I'm ready to just stop working today. Last week I was the week 2 months ago I was ready to stop working. And people are like, "Oh, you're still working." Mind you, with my first daughter, this is really funny. Actually, it's not funny, but it's funny to me. I was due on January 25th, which was a Saturday. Was that a Saturday or a Sunday? I feel like it was a Sunday. No, it was a Saturday. And I had employed someone to start working the Friday before. So my last day of work, because I didn't believe the doctors that she was going to come on the 25th, was January 23rd. 2 days maternity pre-leave, I guess that's what you call it. Bananas. So my sweet little punctual angel, I closed down my shop on January 23rd at 6 p.m. and I was actually going to go to a dinner at an old professor's house of mine in the Berkeley Hills. And the minute I closed my door, my water broke. And I was like, that's sweet. She's really punctual. And I really don't want to do that anymore, because having children really kind of shifts. It shifts the way for me that I see time and relationships. And I'm usually a pretty hurried person because I'm so work oriented. And with a child, I just really don't want to impose that hurriedness onto them. And it might affect money, it might not. I actually don't think it will. I think we're just going through a transition with my business. And I just really don't want to impose that on someone else. And I'm getting to the point where I don't want to be stressing myself out, because the amount of physical pain I'm in has just really made me hit a wall. So I'm actually thinking of possibly closing a week earlier and just being whatever. And the funny thing is, I work so much that not working is actually really uncomfortable for me. I don't really watch television. I watch it sometimes with my husband. We'll watch silly things on YouTube. I find television really kind of stupid, because I think it's a complete waste of time. I think it's brainwashing, for one. And I think it's a waste of time too, because I'm I could be working. Why am I sitting here watching TV? So it's actually been really hard for me to actually sit down, which is really interesting because I can't get up. So it's been getting a little easier. I did watch one show, which I highly recommend. I think it's comparable to Game of Thrones, and it is Queen's Gambit on Netflix. Check it out. So I'm really proud of myself. Believe it or not, but that's a goal for me. That's a high achievement that I sat through a whole season of a show and enjoyed it, and then recommended it to people. Because when people go oh my God, I'm addicted to Netflix, and I just, what is it, binge watching Netflix? To me, that's I don't get it. I also don't I'm not a heroin addict either, but I shouldn't compare Netflix to heroin. But I just don't get it. But yeah, wish me luck. We'll see. My goal right now is just to have a little bit more ease, take it a little bit easier, not be in so much stress, and keep these twins in for at least another month, so they are at appropriate gestational age for twins, so none of that NICU stuff happens, because I would rather have dislocated hips than to put that on an infant. So everything's good. It's all great. It's all gravy. Hope you guys are having a fabulous day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.